there's nothing we can't give back to nature that has come from nature, whether it's gemstones or plants or whatever. So for some people, they think it's kind of ridiculous to leave a plant offering for harvesting plants. For instance, tobacco with harvesting sage or whatever, or leaving gemstones, which again come from the earth, to a tree if you're going to harvest something from the tree, leaves or berries or whatever. Some people think it's a bit of an oxymoron, but I think that the idea of it goes beyond that. It goes deeper on a more spiritual level. For what you take from nature or the world around you, it's important to give something back and to show gratitude for that essence that you are acquiring, whatever it is. And some people don't do that anymore. They just take without giving anything back, which is really sad. And we see evidence of this with clear cutting and the dwindling resources and things like that, and the devastating effects it has on the ecosystem. When we harvest anything from the wild, we take 1/10 of whatever is there. So if there are 10 echinacea plants, we'll take 1 and leave the 9 alone. And our rationale for that is so that we don't wipe out the species in that location. It's there to preserve, that teaching is there to preserve that species or whatever species it is that we are harvesting from. Because if you take too much, you can have a very devastating effect on your own local ecosystem. And that goes for anything, if it's harvesting plants, fishing, hunting, whatever the case might be. Take only what you need and give something back in return is really important in our way. And that could be a totally different way than what you, whatever path you happen to be on, and that's fine. That's just how we do things. So yeah, take only what you need. Try not to wipe out a whole entire species or whatever it is that you're, harvesting or collecting. With regards to leaving offerings, I think the sincerity is really, really important. To some people they might think, wow, leaving a few coins just is not good enough or is so shallow or something like that. But I think it comes down to your intent and your own inner gratitude. So for some people it might not seem like an appropriate offering, and to somebody else it might mean a whole lot more. Maybe those coins are very special to them or are of symbolic gesture to them that just means something more than to the next person, and that's okay. I just think that, in my own opinion, whatever offerings that you do make, whether it's the smoke type offerings, like incense or whatever, smudges, coins, plant material, cloth, ribbon, even blood offerings, if you do it in a sincere way, and you're not deliberately harming an unwilling participant, I guess you can say, I really got no problem with it. I personally don't like the thought of an animal like a lamb or a goat or something being hurt just to collect their blood to make an offering. That's just my own opinion. I'm not judging people that do that in other belief systems. That's their choice. I have used blood offerings, but we do it differently, and that's all it is. It's neither right nor wrong. It's just, it's different, in my opinion. Everything has given up its life in order to sustain human life, when you think about it, whether it's plants, whether it's animals. just look around you, you know, and plants, their lives are no less valuable than an animal's life. So sometimes people will judge or say things that, like, you know, you shouldn't, you know, do this or do that because, you know, that harms an animal, and it has 2 eyes and legs and, you know, things like that. And yes, it does, and I respect the fact that it has spirit and it has an essence and a life form and all that jazz. I respect the teachings that come with that animal. At the same time, I also see that the plant kingdom, whether it's a tree or whether it's the smallest flower you can see, that those lives are equally valid and equally as important as animal life, as human life. And that's just my own opinion. And yeah. I don't think that the cotton plant is any less valuable than a cat or a dog or anything else. I think all life forms are precious and valuable, and none is greater than the other. And so when people start placing one above the other, that creates an imbalance, in my opinion, about you know, well, this life is more valuable than that life because this life has 2 eyeballs and a mouth, and that life over there just kind of stays in one spot, and it doesn't blink at you, or, you know, that kind of thing. It just that's just bogus in my mind. Plants do grow in families. There are what we call the tree people. They grow in families, and you know, you can see the little ones growing, and the bigger ones, and then the more ancient ones, you know, and that's just something we've always respected and honored. So anyway, everything is connected when it comes to life. We're all connected, and whenever we take something from the wild or anything like that, I think it's important to leave something in return. Also, you can leave offerings to honor the dead. You can make offerings to be thankful for what you have, what blessings you have in your life. Like I said, there's a whole variety of ways that it can be done, and I just think that it's important that people kind of remember that, and if possible, incorporate it into their own belief system. In addition to those kind of offerings I talked about, I forgot to mention, and you've probably seen, I started smoking, so you probably see the smoke. But anyway, yeah, I know, bad crafty. But in addition to those kind of offerings, other offerings can include songs, prayers, even artwork, music, dance, things like that. And those are also very much valid offerings, if you will. So yeah, there's all kinds of offerings that are out there. I forgot to include that in the first part of the video, so sorry about that. If there's other offerings I haven't mentioned, because there's all different kinds out there, and I didn't, you know, script this out or anything. So if you want to share different types of offerings that you've made, feel free to do so. And yeah, that's it for now. Ciao.